Greeting strategist, let's travel back to 1949. In the heart of Soviet Moscow, a young Tigran Petrosian was already earning his reputation as a wall, resilient, unbreakable. But across the board sat Alexander Kotov, a tactician, a writer, a man who saw clarity in chaos. The game you're about to witness lasted only 13 moves, but within those moves lies a lifetime of lessons in calculation, aggression, and the risks of early imbalance. Let's dive deep, not just into what happened, but into what could have happened. Kotov opens with 1d4, the classical reliable queen's pawn. He's preparing to build a strong center, control the long diagonals, and develop smoothly. Petrosian replies in kind with 1d5, balanced, traditional, but also a statement. I won't give you imbalances unless I want them. The queen's gambit is on the board. Kotov invites Petrosian to release central tension with 2c4 and give up a pawn for better control. Petrosian declines with 2e6. Enter the queen's gambit declined. This is about solid structures and positional battles. Both sides continue logical development. Kotov brings out his knight to c3 to pressure d5 and prepare e4. Petrosian responds by bringing his knight to f6, controlling in e4 and continuing to mirror white. Kotov decides to resolve the central tension early. Playing 4 cxd5, he invites an open position. Petrosian replies with the symmetrical 4 exd5. Did both now have an isolated queen's pawn structure on the board? White's bishop pins the knight, hinting at kingside pressure. This pin often leads to potential tactics in the future. Petrosian calmly unpins with 5 be7, prioritizing development and preparing to castle. Kotov supports his center and opens the way for a dot-squared bishop. Petrosian with 6 c6 fortifies d5 and creates a triangle pawns chart. This will limit the scope of his light, the squared bishop, but increase his central durability. A pivotal moment. Kotov develops his queen to c2, not just to connect rooks, but to add latent pressure on the king side and over the c-file. Petrosian now plays his knight to e4. This move may look natural, occupying the center, aiming for piece trades, but it's premature. Instead, nbd7 would keep the position flexible. Petrosian could continue with re8 h6 and perhaps even look for a c5 break later. By playing ne4, Petrosian invites an exchange that opens tactical paths Kotov is more than happy to explore. Kotov wastes no time. He trades bishop for knight, removing black's central pressure. With the queen recaptured, Petrosian centralizes his queen, but also leaves her vulnerable. Now Kotov strikes 9 in xd5, taking advantage of the unprotected d5 pawn. It's not just about a pawn, it's about exposing black's queen and central weaknesses. Petrosian must recapture 9 cxd5, but this opens the c-file and weakens b7. And here comes the bombshell, 10qxc8 plus. Kotov sacrifices his queen momentarily to disrupt black's coordination. Petrosian responds with the only move, 10qd8. Kotov follows up with precision by bringing his bishop to b5, a check that forces a concession. 11 nc6 is the only good block. It's passive but necessary. Now Petrosian's queenside becomes a battlefield. This is where Kotov truly begins to dismantle black's foundation. With bxc6 plus, he forces an ugly response. The capture isn't just tactical, it's surgical. The knight on c6 was one of black's last coherent defenders and part of a fragile equilibrium. After 12 bxc6, Petrosian is left with shattered c-pawns, a disjointed pawn structure, and no pawn presence in the center. Could Kotov have waited? Technically, yes, he could have played a quieter move like nf3 or even rc1. But Kotov understood that timing is everything. This wasn't just about winning a piece. It was about permanently disfiguring black's pawn skeleton and eliminating all hope for queenside stability. The capture wasn't aggressive, it's inevitable. Now black's weaknesses are no longer theoretical. They're etched into the board. And with that, the queen re-enters on c6. Kotov is now up material, has a dominating queen, and black's king is stuck in the center. The position is hopeless. Petrosian resigned not long after. Kotov's brilliance lay not in brute force, but in foresight. He identified how any e4 and overambitious move could be punished. He turned central control into tactical advantage. The early queen wasn't reckless. It was calculated, razor sharp, and lethal. Petrosian, who would later become world champion and earn fame for his impenetrable defense, allowed one crack in the wall, and Kotov split it wide open. Movement did not. When your opponent offers you the keys to the kingdom, don't knock, walk in. If you found this breakdown insightful, please like the video, share it with fellow chess lovers, and subscribe to the channel. Comment below. What do you think Petrosian should have played on move 7? Let's talk chess one brilliant move at a time. Until next time, play boldly, think deeply, and remember, every miniature has a grand story to tell.